So if it's all right for the group and the group, if it's all right for the group, I'd love to quickly share best practices of how I structure cold emails. Would that be all right? Can I get a nod from everyone? We're all cool? All right, sweet. So, SC, I'm not going to teach you how to write an email because you probably already know how to do that. But what I want to do is give you a bit of structure so it doesn't come across as too salesy. So, if we look at the typical structure of an email, and again, if anybody wants to screenshot this, go for it. I have no qualms with that. At typical structure, we have the subject line. What is the email about? The salutation is how we greet them. We then have the main body of the email, which is the pitch or the main content. And then we have a CTA or the ask at the end, and then just how you typically sign it off. Essie, could we agree? This is a
Yeah,
typical structure of an email. Yep. Okay.
yeah.
Cool. What I'm now about to show everyone is what I deem not so great on cold outreach. And it's a real email one of my SDRs used to send when we were selling in the world of cybersecurity. So if I let your eyes all adjust for this for a couple of seconds, everything in yellow is what I deem as bugging. And that is a
Mhm.
cybersecurity pun within the email. First and foremost, hey prospect. Hey is informal language. When we're reaching out to decision makers and influencers, we should be formal until we get a little bit pally with them. If we also see they put in I wanted to get into touch to use our platform, we are working with, we have been helping CISOs, we can it's all about us.
Yeah.
So these are I and we statements and they should be you and them statements. The other piece is this rep put in proactive awareness and developer led cybersecurity defense. And I asked them, what does that mean? They said, I don't know. I started my website, it came up from marketing, it sounded cool, so I thought I'd pop it in. So, in other words, cut the fluff and keep it to simplified language. The other piece is they were asking for time at the end of a first cold email. And what I believe is emails are not used to sell, they're used to get a dialogue going on between you and somebody that doesn't know you yet. And if you have a bit of healthy back and forth, that's when we suggest the meeting and then we book them into a call. But we're trying to figure out, is this relevant for them from the first point? Before I move on, Essie and crew, is that all clear?
Absolutely, and that's how I do it as well. So, yeah, no weeing all over the email.
Oh my gosh. And Kyle, good to see you, my dude. It's been a while. Right. So the first method that I like is called the request method or the triple R, which stands for research and relevance, a reward using your marketing content if you have it, and a request to get the conversation going. So we're going to take that original email and we're going to restructure it with this framework. Are you ready, ladies and gents and peeps? Yeah, sweet, cool. As you can probably see, Essie, this looks a bit more cleaner, concise, and easier in the eye to consume. Would you agree?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. We'll break it step by step. The subject line, I believe, should always relate to the research and homework you're doing on the person you're going after. So, SE could be your LinkedIn profile. Ruby, it could be your recent announcement on your website. John, it could be your annual report if your company is public. Then, what I believe we should be doing, the subject line should always relate to the first line of an email. Why? 80% of emails are read on phones. If they open the preview and it looks like a sales or marketing email, SE, what do you think they're going to do?
Close it.
Exactly. Yeah. So what we say is we take the first line, which is SE keeping up to date with your company. It mentions now mention the homework that you've done on this person, something for this year specifically with a focus on, and this is where it ties into how you or your solution could help them with that. So when I look at an email SE, I genuinely believe you only need to personalize 20% of that email and the other
Okay.
80% is either templated on the industry or persona that you're going after, right? So that's just the research bit. The reward, rather than talking about how cool my company is because they don't give a shit yet, we need to talk about somebody that looks similar to them. So what we could drop in is SE, here's a case study on name drop on how they're using a new way to do X, Y, and Z. But the reality is, as we all know in sales, if I sent Kyle or Kiani or Suzanne a 5-page PDF or a 15-minute video, the likelihood of them watching or reading that is very slim. So to help our prospect, what we can do is point out what's going to be something worth their time. So skip to page 2, paragraph 3, or Ruby, skip 2 minutes, 36 seconds in. That is the secret sauce. And then they can take the decision to read or watch the rest of it. And then when we get towards the end, rather than, hey, do you have 10 minutes later this week for a chat and a sales pitch from somebody you've never heard of before? You ask an open-ended question such as, how does this resonate with your plans for the year? What are your thoughts on this approach? How would you see this working for you? Because again, the request is to get them into a conversation.